Alright, welcome to Heroic Portal Keeper Hasabel Guide. Starting with talents, for this fight I would use Abyssal Strike because this is an AoE fight. Fallout, Flame Crash, Fracture. You can either run with Concentrated Sigils for damage or Sigil of Chains for CC. Spirit Bomb. And last one I would either run Last Resort or Demonic Infusion because almost all the damage you're going to take is physical. So if you need more stacks of Demon Spikes, this is how you do it. Gear wise, the damage you're taking is not bad. So I ran with full DPS gear. I used AoE stuff like I used the Warglaives, which is somewhere in here. So the AoE Warglaives, Umbral Moonglaives, I'm sorry, Moonglaives. I use Kil'jaeden's Burning Wish. The trinket I just got last night, the Demon's Glacial Aegis, could be good because it is AoE damage every minute, and it's also armor, and this is physical damage, so it's still a good trinket to use. I used the two-piece tier 20. If you have tier 21, that's also good to use. Legendaries, if you don't want a DPS, you can go with Oblivion's Embrace, Archimonde's Hatred Reborn for survival. Let's pop this up. Pridus would be okay. Cloak would be worthless. The belt would be decent. The boots would be really good because you're AoEing all the time, so you can get Fiery Brand off cooldown quicker. Safus, it could be good because you can interrupt the imps all the time. The insignia of the Grand Army is good for single target damage. So if you're always on the platforms, this isn't bad. Consumables, same thing as always. Agility Flask, Agility Food, your Augment Rune, and for AoE you can use Prolonged Power, for single target use Old War. And that's it for the intro, so let's go ahead and take a look at the fight. So here is Portal Keeper Hasabel. This fight consists of 3 platforms and 1 main platform here. I will start the fight. I'm going to show you in this kill here I was on 2 of the 3 platforms, but I do have footage from the other platform which I'll splice in the middle. So the fight starts and I'm going to taunt, pick her up, and I'm going to pull her to a corner. So we have this corner here marked and that corner there marked. So we're going to jump back and forth between these 2 positions. So we're going to walk her back, and she casts Reality Tear, which puts a debuff on you for 30 seconds, which does a ton of physical damage every so many seconds. So it is physical damage, not magic. So at 90%, the fire portal will open, and the fire ad will spawn. So when she casts this, what's this called here? The Chaos of Worlds, or I forget what it's called. But when she casts this, big shadow damage, just pull her over to the other marker. So there's a fire portal. You taunt on 2 debuffs, by the way. And when that debuff hits 0, it will explode based on how many stacks it has. It hits the entire raid. So he taunts at 2. I go up to the fire portal. And you have to kill this ad. I set up a lot of our single target damage and 1 healer. And he casts 2 abilities, and you should interrupt all 2 of them. And then he does Supernova, which can't be interrupted, you just move. So now you just burn this ad down as quickly as possible. And you drop back down as soon as you do. One of your other people in the raid will grab a fire orb and bring it to the shadow platform for later. So normally it's not the tank that does it, it's normally a DPS. Those are the orbs that they will bring over. So we're going to drop down. He has 2 stacks, so I want to taunt. I'm going to jump over. Down here, the boss will summon portals, and when the first fire ad spawns, then imps will spawn afterwards, and these will do a fiery detonation that does 1 million damage to everybody in the raid, and if you take another fiery detonation within that time period, it does more damage, like 50%. So when the portal spawns, you want to stack up on it and just AoE everything down, interrupt when you have to. There's all this ground debuffs that the boss does, just don't stand in it. So we're gonna jump between the two positions. I got disoriented. And just DPS. The second portal should be spawning soon. So the transport portal is the ads you gotta kill, the extra ads. And you see a spawn back here. A sigil of chains would be fine if you want to group them up, but the ads die so quickly it might not be worth it. Sigil of silence to interrupt. Alright, so the next portal is opening up at 60%. And let me just get this started here and then I'll grab the footage for that. So I taunt, and he goes up the portal because he has 2 debuffs. It doesn't matter which tank goes up. If you want to parse on this fight, you have to be the tank that stays downstairs. That way you can, inflate your damage on the ads that spawn. So keep DPSing, they're killing the ad. Collapsing worlds, what it's called. We want to get out of that. I've heard rumors where the boss would drop aggro if you jump out of it. I've never experienced it myself, but people on Discord were complaining about it. So heads up there if it's real. Alright, so after the second ad spawns, you're going to start getting these spiders. The only thing these spiders would do is it'll root people in place. And it's bad because of all the fell barrage right there. If you're rooted in place when fell barrage goes off, you can't move, you're going to die. Alright, so the second tank just came downstairs, so let's go ahead and take a look at that portal. Alright, so let's go ahead and see what this fell portal looks like. I'm going to go up here. This is the one that didn't go up in the other kill we did. So you're going to have this ad here, and it's going to constantly drop people's HP, and you can't really stay full on HP in this fight, which is fine. You set up 2 healers to deal with this ad. The biggest thing you gotta worry about is this fell silk wrap. Someone's gonna get wrapped and they're gonna take a lot of damage, so you need to break them out as soon as possible.
4, 3, 2, 1.
And that's really it. So you just keep DPSing it down. You want to send up most of your single target damage to deal with the ads, and it makes this easy. So let's go back and finish the video. Alright, so the second ad's already dead, and the next ad I believe is 30% or 25%. So at this point you're going to have 2 sets of ads. You have the spider ads, you have the imps that's going to spawn per portal, and normal mechanics, nothing's changed. Oh, yeah, trinkets, you can see that I'm using the glaives here, and I'm also using, I believe it's Archmont, no, Kill Jaden's Burning Wish, just for damage. This fight is not very taxing on tanks, so you can just use DPS trinkets, AoE DPS trinkets. Alright, so 30% is the next portal. And I'm going to go handle this one. Now this one's really annoying. So as we're coming up, you see this is where the DPS put the fire orb. So you don't ever want to touch it. You want to be within 10 yards of it, or you can't DPS or get healed. So I'm going to taunt the boss within 10 yards, and then somebody picked it up as they landed, so we can't do anything. Then he drops it, and when inside the boss, somebody else picks it up instead because they were on top of it, so we can't do anything. I'm looking for it because I don't know where it's at, and there it is. So now we're yelling at everybody, don't touch the orb, and somebody else picks it up. This is how not to do it, by the way. This is really bad. Alright, so now I'm pretty sure we're safe. So you stay within 10 yards of the fire orb and you just burn this boss as quickly as possible. And then do your interrupts on the unstable portal. He puts a debuff that has to be cleansed. And when a healer cleanses it, it will give them mana back. So since that took so long because we messed it up, the off-tank has 4 stacks, so he's getting hit pretty hard by that dot. And when he explodes, he's going to do 360,000 times 4 damage to the entire raid. Now we're going to have new Fellhounds that spawns. They will teleport to somebody, explode for 1.6 million damage, and silence them. So you want to kill all the ants as quickly as possible. But that's really it. You Bloodlust this last part because this is the hardest part. And you just finish the fight. And that's that. That is Portal Keeper Hasabel. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments, and thanks for watching.